All right, good afternoon, Who That Nation. Welcome to the WDN Chatline podcast. This is the host CB, and I'm happy to be back with another episode from the podcast. I hope you guys are having a great Memorial weekend. Mine this way is kind of rainy. I was gonna go down to Bite Week for the ones that know about Bite Week at Myrtle Beach. It's gonna go down there, but it was too rainy, and I'm not sure if they was able to get on the bites as expected. It was supposed to get sunny today, so hopefully things get better that way. But anyway, I'm here, and I hope you guys have had a great week as well. Like I said, I hope your weekend is going well. And let me go ahead and get to the comment section. Let's see. Of course, we got Rose City in the building. Said, who that CB? Who that to you, Rose City? I got the OG Jerry Poole in the building. Said WDN Chatline podcast. He also said, let's go. Yes, sir, fam. Rose City said, man, I was watching that Saints versus Vikings game last year, shaking my head. Saints offense got to be better. Pete got to be better. Absolutely, fam. And we definitely going to get into OTAs. And just like games like that, it just gets me more excited on, what our offense is looking like right now. But we know people got to step up. Derek Carr got to step up, and we can't have similar QB play like last year average. But anyway, today's show, as you guys know, Saints OTAs was this past week. The rookies got their mini camp kicked off, and then everybody was together for OTAs. So that's what the show is going to be about, just the takeaways from OTAs. You guys know Ross Jackson. He was out there able to get some of the practice in. So I'm going with his takeaways, his top 3 takeaways from the rookies this week at camp. So hope you guys enjoy. So let's just go ahead and get started. See, we got another comment. Let me shout out Jared Slack in the building. He said, who that, baby? Who that to you, Jared? Said, I really believe it will have a better season this year, like the pieces we have put together so far. I agree with you, fam. I mean, it's no excuse this year. No excuse. DA was able to get out of the Sean Payton umbrella. If you heard Dennis talking a lot last offseason, they were trying to kind of keep things, the way Sean had it, but this offseason, he's able to do everything his way. He was able to get his QB, Derek Carr. He drafted him. And as we see it now, he's able to get some of the pieces that Derek Carr liked. And we also may be going after another Raider guy that Derek Carr likes. So we're going to get into all of that. Jerry said, shout out to Ross Jackson. Yeah, shout out to Ross Jackson. Absolutely. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. First off, we're going to start off with the attendance. It was 80 out of 89 present. The notable mentions that wasn't there was AK, Ramchat, Taysom, Mike Thomas, Sean, and Pete. As far as with all of those guys, I'm pretty sure they're going to get there at some point. But Mike Thomas, I don't know if he wasn't present due to him not being able to practice. I seen video. I don't know if he had a procedure after that, but of him running around. That was a couple months ago. So I don't know what the situation is with him, but just going to stick with what DA said. He said, Mike, they expected him to be 100% for training camp. Will he be participating in some of these OTAs and mini camps? We will see. But as far as with the AK situation, pretty sure he's going to be showing up too, along with the other guys. I'm just really concerned about Andrews Pete. I don't know what the status of him is going to be. Is they going to move forward with him? Is he going to be on the trade block? I don't know. I really don't know. But that's it as far as the attendance. So let's go ahead and get into who stood out with the rookies. You guys know that the NFL had a meeting. I don't know if it was the owners' meeting or another type of meeting where they just recently, about a week ago, they passed I ain't gonna say no law, but they passed something where every NFL team can have a third quarterback on their roster without it counting towards the 53. So really, teams will be able to have 54 players, but they're gonna have 53, as far as their roster. So that QB that's with them game day, like just say like the guy I'm about to talk about, that was a standout, according to Ross Jackson, Jake Haener. They say if this guy comes in and he plays well, and just say DA wanted to go with 2 prior to this being passed, we would have been taking a chance putting Jake Haener out there on the practice squad and somebody picking him up. So I'm a fan of this. I've seen a few NFL players. I believe it was Travis Kelce. He wasn't a big fan of it. But what I believe with that, man, I believe we should have QBs out there playing. The game of football is rough. So just say if you got 2 QBs go down, if a team had 2 QBs, now you got to get an emergency QB, and it used to be like a running back, maybe a receiver, to be that third string emergency QB for the teams that don't have 3 on their 53. So this right here, I love this. So that means if Jake Haener, about to get into him, if he has a hell of a training camp, they can carry him as that third QB, and we don't have to worry about having him on the practice squad. Or they might even just have him as one of the 53 in general, but I doubt they was going to do that. But just say, I mean, it just saves us a QB if we had a young QB, undrafted guy, or a guy like Jake Haener. If he comes in and it's something that you think you can progress with, we can keep him on the roster. So I'm pretty sure he definitely will be on the game day roster as that third QB. So I'm a fan of that. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and get to who stood out. Ross Jackson, like I said, I'm getting his takeaways because he was actually out there watching, and I love his takes. He gave 3 guys that stood out. The first one I'm gonna go with is Jake Haener. That was the guy one of the guys he picked. Jake Haener, as I just read this rule out, if Jake Haener can keep it up and have a tremendous training camp, such he can be that third QB on they'll be on the game day roster. If we don't have to worry about a team picking this guy up. So that's a good thing. But the takeaways that Ross Jackson had from Jake Haener was he showed good footwork and ball placement. So footwork fundamentals was good. And he was completing the ball. He was putting the ball in great, accurate positions. The ball placement was very good. So that's a good thing coming from Jake Haener. The thing about Jake Haener that I think we getting too far. I'm not gonna say getting too far as far as him, but like we still not getting over Drew Brees. Like Drew Brees is no longer the QB of the New Orleans Saints, and I know, we would love to have a guy that played like Brees, but that's just like this guy. He is old man. I know a lot of guys saying, he kind of got similar size as Brees, and the way he get the ball off and quick time and precise, it's kind of course, it's not what Brees is now, but like it got potential to be like a Drew Brees. Just let the man be his own man. If he's able to get that opportunity for us and he comes out and presents himself, and if we see similarities to Drew, then great. That's a great thing. But just think we need to pump the brakes on him. Let him be a rookie. Let him grow. We know this season he's not going to be out there playing, but he will have hella time in the preseason to showcase, what he can do at this point. Now, hopefully he can be a developmental guy, and potentially someday, with me, I'm not gonna. If he becomes better than Derek Carr, then of course I want the best QB. I'm just saying down the road. But with us giving Derek Carr that deal, I personally want Derek Carr to be our QB. If he's the guy that I believe he is, even through his struggles and stuff, I expect him to be the Saints QB for the future and retire New Orleans Saints. If this guy leaves the New Orleans Saints due to anything else minus injury, if it has everything to do with his play, he failed us as a team. That's just how I feel with that. I see Jerry. He said everyone going crazy with Jake Hayner. Yeah, fam. I mean, it's just so I don't want to. I don't think we need to overhype the guy. But if it's real, it's real. I mean, we're gonna see. If it's legit, then we definitely gonna see. We're gonna have that time to see. So, hey, if this is a steal, this is a steal. Like I said, if with the Derek Carr, if his play is the reason why a guy like Jake Hayner take his spot, then Derek Carr failed us. And I'm talking about down the road. Because it could come into another situation where you just got a young, hungry dog we can go with 2-3 years down the road. Derek Carr going to be, 34, going on 35, something like that. And we got a young 25-year-old. I mean, that makes sense. But if Derek Carr, if that's the only reason I would see a change, I would be okay with a change with QB down the road. If it's because of performance-wise, then Derek Carr definitely failed us. That's just how I see it, man. Just how I see it. Jared said, we got a receiver squad this year. Do you see any of the receivers that will make the 53-man roster, CB? I'm going to get on that once I get on the Hunter Renfrow situation. I mean, but Jared, at this point, man, I mean, they done brought in a lot of receivers, and that's not guaranteeing nobody a spot. I don't think Brian Edwards is a for sure thing. I don't believe James Washington is a for sure thing. Obviously, the undrafted rookies is not a for sure thing. You got A.T. Perry, you got Malik Flowers. Who else you got? Traquan. I want to see something new. I don't want to no longer see Traquan Smith. I want to see a new thing. So hopefully one of these receivers can push him on out the door. If we got to load up on receivers like that, that says everything about Traquan. Because of course we got Mike. That's a question mark. I can see us getting somebody. They say Brian Edwards is supposed to be that guy, but what we got now, I don't know if his position is locked right now. I think everybody is playing for a roster spot except MT, Chris Olave, Rashid. Who else we got on the roster? Even I believe those three are for sure locks. And then we got everybody else, like Merritt, Cole, all those guys. All those guys about to fill up the whole sheet. Shout out to Travis 504 in the building. Said, who that everybody? Who that to you, Travis 504? Rose City said Traquan Smith season loaded. Hey, we'll see, fam. They've been holding on to Traquan. That I don't know if that's a Dennis Allen thing, or I do know they re-signed Traquan when DA was on board. He wasn't under contract when Sean left. His contract was up, and they re-signed him the offseason that Dennis was pronounced head coach. So it was under his watch when he received the new deal. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, shout out to Jake Hayner. Like I said, we got two guys ahead of him. There's no pressure on him, so he got time to grow. He got time to develop. He in the perfect situation, in my opinion. In the perfect situation, Derek Carr just turned 32. If he play this 4-year out, he's going to be 36. 36, that's getting up there. I mean, really, the QBs that be lasting playing at a high level at that stage, 36, 37, is like your Breezes and your A-Rods and Brady's. Those caliber of QBs. Unless Derek Carr just take it to another level, like I said, he's good, but he's not elite. With what he got around him, he could take it to an elite level. He got the pieces. He's going to have the pieces, man. So we're going to see. Well, before I move on, I see we got two more people in the building. Shout out to Randy Major. He said, do you think we should trade for Hunter Renfrow or target Hopkins? Man, we definitely going to get into that discussion, especially that Hunter Renfrow. I will say about Hopkins, from what I read, I may be wrong or misread it wrong, but think he's looking for a significant contract. I don't think that's worth it. Not giving this man a significant contract. I don't believe it. I mean, could he come in on a nice little deal? I mean, me honestly, I think we good. I'm not gonna say we good at receiver because, like I said, we got one guy that's unknown that's projected to be a starter. We don't know if he's going to be healthy, but we do know when he's healthy, he's a dog, and he showed that last season. I don't know if his health is going to get in the way. But if you bring a guy like DeAndre Hopkins in, he gonna be expecting to, number one, he gonna want some money, and then number two, he's gonna be coming in at least being the number two receiver. And you know, Mike, he's trying to resurface his career just due to injury wise, not because he fell off, just as far as his injury. So you gonna have that kind of thing in a way, and of course, we gonna have Olave out there because he first round pick we drafted, young 22, 23-year-old. So he gonna be number one, number two. So I don't know about D-Hop. I think he's gonna be a little bit too pricey. Now Hunter Renfrow, we'll get on him a little bit in the show, but shout out to you, Randy. Shout out to Flamer. He said Derek Carr looks like what we've been missing at QB. I hope so, fam. I hope so. I don't think it'll be nothing on the level as Andy Dalton. I think it'll be better than what we had at QB with Andy Dalton. That's just how I feel. But yeah, we're gonna get into the receiver talk, but I do think the only three lots at this time is Mike, Chris Olave, and Rashid. Those are the only three. Okay, so going on to the second rookie that stood out, according to Ross Jackson, is Malik Flowers, wide receiver out of Montana. We know this guy was undrafted, and Ross Jackson, the way he was explaining what he seen from him, it wasn't from his explosive kick returning abilities. This was him at receiver. He was out there eating, running crisp, sharp routes, fluid with his route running, catching the ball. He was making an impact as a receiver. As we know, Malik Flowers, go back a little background, he tied the FCS record with our very own Rashid as 7 kick returns scored in college football. That was the record. Rashid had the record and Malik tied it. So we got two guys on the ball club that's unreached the record in college football due to their kick return abilities. Now with Shaheed took it to another level. He also put it out there, between the grass at receiver. Now, can Malik do that? I personally believe Malik is going to give us special team ability if he even make the squad. But as far as what Malik, we already credited that receiver. He's going to have to make an impact other than special teams. I'm pretty sure they're going to have him in special teams in preseason. Us going into the season, Rashid is going to be our kick return, punt return guy. But I think Malik Flowers, he's going to have to make another impact besides being a kick returner. Could it be a receiver? We'll see. But if not, I definitely see us holding on to him. Because you got to think about the injury bug. Just say one or two receivers go down, and Rashid's role on the offense had to increase. Do you want him returning punts and kicks as well? If we got a guy that's capable of being a dog back there as well, that'll be a good thing for us. So then we got a little bit to play with. But when you put pieces on practice squads, teams is able to pick those guys up. That's just like going back to the QB situation. We don't have to worry about that with Jake Hanger. Now that the NFL passed that situation with the QBs, every team is able to have a third QB without it affecting the 53-man roster. So that won't count towards the 53-man roster. Okay, now I see Nola Gang 09 in the building. Said, who that everyone? Who that to you, Nola Gang 09? I believe it's my first time seeing you, man. Welcome to the WDN Chatline podcast. Who that to you, fam? Okay, so let's just go ahead and go to the next guy. The last guy is Jordan Howden, safety out of Minnesota. Safety out of Minnesota. According to Ross Jackson, he showed fluidity on the field, and he also seen that our DB coach was in his ear, coaching him up the whole time. I mean, they was having constant conversation throughout the whole practice. So going into this, and what the DB coach was seeing, he seen potential. That's why he was in his ear as much as he was. This is what Ross Jackson viewed out there with this guy, along with being fluent and stuff. And the media wasn't available to see team drills, like I guess the one-on-ones and stuff like that. But, the little walkthroughs and stuff, was able to see that, show fluidity with his hips. And who knows, man? I mean, just if you look at our DB room, I'm talking about the safety position. The safety position, if we don't bring PJ back, who gonna be that next guy? We do got that his name now slipped my mind. The banger out of that was at Oakland. The banger out of Oakland. We got him. He was a former first rounder for them, but a former second rounder. But he kind of fell off. He was known for his hitting ability. The safety that was with the Raiders. So I don't know. Is he gonna be playing that PJ Williams role, or can Howland be in that PJ Williams role, or will we pick up PJ along the way? Because we always kind of wait, to later part of the offseason to pick him up anyway. I'm shocked there ain't no other team picked him up, if I'm not mistaken. There we go, Jonathan Abrams. Yeah, Jonathan Abrams. We know he got that hitting ability, but will he be able to play that robber role that PJ was playing on defense? I don't know. I know he's going to be a part of the rotation, especially as a banger on that defense. But could Howden step up? Out of these three names that I called, out of Malik Flowers and Jake Haener, this guy has a better chance of not only making the squad, but getting into the rotation. If he has a successful training camp, he has the best chance of doing that, because at safety, like I said, I know Abrams, he got the wood on him, but he ain't never been, solid with his coverage and stuff like that. That wasn't what he was known for. And I believe that started taking toll on him. He started getting exposed a little bit. That's why he fell off. But at the beginning of his career, he was like that on that Oakland defense. Then it kind of just started fading a little bit. But we will see. So shout out to Howland. Shout out to these three guys. But just reading, certain people's notes that was out there, I'm surprised that we didn't, get Brian Bresee and Isaiah Foskey's name on there. Now, of course, when DA done his press conference, DA definitely shouted them out, gave them some good kudos and, said these guys is looking great out there. But the type of our first round pick, these are two potentially starting. I know Brian Bresee is going to be starting at the 3. That's just how I feel. First round pick, I believe he's going to have his chance at the 3. Isaiah Foskey remain to be seen. He got some comp right there. I mean, as dude Bresee ain't not going to be handed to him, but you got a shepherd guy that had his way in the league, really, wasn't a starter like that. He was a rotational guy with the Jets. And then we have Kalen Saunders. He wasn't a starter with the Chiefs. So that's some competition that's going to be held right there, which I believe Bresee should win out. Okay, let me read a comment before I. Shout out to Red Cow. Ooh, look like you got some littles up there. I don't understand, but shout out to you, fam. Who that to you said, trust me, Winston will easily take that job back from Carr. Believe that he's a bum, and I don't know what that means. And week 4 of last season, Winston was ranked 7 in the league with a broke back, rolled ankle, and an ACL repair. Uh, my thing with Winston, I mean, he just wasn't DA's guy. I mean, I gave my opinion on him last year. I'm not about to compare him to Derek Carr now. Just the fact we done brought Derek Carr in. We done gave Derek Carr this big extension, this big contract. He's going to be our guy, obviously. So Derek Carr's the guy I'm focused on. Jameis is the guy behind him. I mean, it's really everybody know about how the situation went down with him and about how he was hurt or he should have went in that play. We done mentioned that 100 times. But what we're looking at right now is a guy named Derek Carr who they gave a huge contract to. He's going to be our guy. That's what we got to roll with. And if he goes down, then absolutely Jameis, he got a great chance to step in and show other teams that he's like that. But the deal we gave Derek Carr, we ain't going to be able to get out of that at least for the first 2 seasons. So as far as Jameis Winston being our QB, that ship has died. I mean, that ship has sailed. And of course, for the ones that been here, in my opinion, he didn't lose that because he was trash. I mean, I think a lot of us know that he didn't lose it because he was trash or Andy Dalton was better than him. But that ship is sailed, fam. We just got to roll with Derek Carr. I mean, that's just what it is. So Derek Carr, he our QB, and I mean, that's pretty much it. Well, shout out to Jameis. Hopefully he can show teams that he can play. But Derek Carr's our guy. Okay, shout out. Rose City says CB. Now, I know Adebo was dealing with injury last year, but he was getting cooked quite a bit. Facts. Do you see Alante getting the nod over him this season? I believe that's going to be the number 1 competition right there. I know we're looking at defensive end, and you know that's a competition. That's another area of competition. But I think this right here is the number 1 competition because you got a guy, and that's just not. We've got to look at Adebo. Now the way he finished his rookie year, we was like, oh yeah, he up and coming, he coming. But then he had that sophomore slump. He had injuries, but Rose City, he was getting cooked as well. So it was both ends of it. You know, I'm not about to just say, you know, just injuries that messed up his stuff. Nah, he was out there healthy a little bit. When that ankle, I don't know if it fully healed, but he was out for a little bit, gave it time to heal, when he got back. He was getting rusted a little bit. So I ain't going to just roll on the injuries. But during the time he was out, we had Alante Taylor, came in, stepped in, balled his butt off. And just, I mean, if you're really thinking about it, just look at like a guy like Tyrann Mathieu. He definitely a huge fan of Tyrann Mathieu. I mean, Tyrann Mathieu is a huge fan of him. So I believe Tyrann thinking this guy got the chance to start. I mean, he got the length. He's faster than Adebo. So we'll see. That's going to be, to me, that's going to be the number 1 competition of training camp. And then right behind that is going to be that defensive end spot opposite Cam Jordan. But either way, I don't believe Adebo is finished. He's still up and coming, still going to be competitive. Like Adebo being our 3rd best QB, that's a good thing. But I think Alante, I think he up and coming. But yeah, we'll see, fam. That's gonna be the number 1 competition, according to me. Shout out to Dolph from Keeping It Real, Who That Sports Podcast. Dolph, man, I got plans of reaching out to you, fam. So just be on the lookout. I want to bring you on as a guest of the show. Just trying to figure out a day next week or whenever you're available. But you guys are definitely familiar with this guy. He's Dom from the Keeping It Real Who That Sports podcast. You guys go check out his work content. He's growing by the second. Definitely one of my podcasts that I listen to. Shout out to you, fam. He said, WD, how you doing, fam? I guess you meant CB, fam. He said, just coming in, and I was wondering your thoughts on Gruden helping Saints install offense. I was going to get onto that, fam, a little bit later on, but I can just hit a little nugget on it. Let me see. Matter of fact, we'll just get on it now. I looked at it two ways. There's two ways you can look at it. You can look at it as, was Pete Carmichael not explaining the offense to him as well, and he needed Gruden to come in to help install? Because when I seen John Gruden coming to help install the offense, I mean, is we changing up the offense, or what is we doing? I mean, obviously, I didn't know we was about to change nothing up. Now, of course, we got Derek Carr coming in. We know the West Coast offense that we've been running under Pete is what he was running with Gruden in Oakland. So I don't know if it's some things that Derek is just not understanding coming from Pete, and he just needed a little bit more assistance from the guy that coached it as well. That's not a good thing if that's the case. Or could it just be, that he just wanted to incorporate some things. He wanted John Gruden to come in and, help incorporate some things that Derek liked while in the offense. That's the two sides that I took away from that. Now, I was listening to a piece by Jeff Duncan. Forgot whose podcast it was on. This one I wasn't too familiar with, but he was saying that Drew Brees went through the same situation when he came to the Saints in 2006. I guess it was one of the coordinators or something from the Chargers that came in doing the OTAs, was kind of helping incorporate some things. I forgot about that. I mean, I don't remember that. And then the same with Jameis. But the thing with Jameis, that was more recent than 2006. With Jameis, to my knowledge, I don't recall anybody getting brought in trying to help install the offense. And maybe kind of mind blown on that, kind of forgot about it. But I don't remember him. I don't remember somebody, especially like a John Gruden, coming in to help install the offense. Now, obviously, it was John Gruden. That's the offense he was running. But you also got guys like offensive coordinators and stuff that could have came in. But I really don't know which way to take that. I don't know which way to take that, man. Rose City said, Pete looked too damn timid. Yeah, man, he might have a little fire lit up on him that we ain't see, but I mean, if you just want to do the eye test, yeah, it looked like he, kind of timid. I don't know. I don't know, man. But yeah, Dolph, that's the two sides that I'm kind of taking this as. Is it because Pete ain't really going in depth and explaining this offense, or was Gruden brought in to kind of put some of his touch on the offense? I don't understand if this was a brand new offense we was running, and then you had somebody come in, that kind of makes sense. But I thought we was running the same style of offense. Like I said, I know Derek Carr ran a similar offense if he wanted to put his little touch and twitches, but I didn't think you would need a former head coach to come in to help with that. I thought that was something that Derek Carr could do itself. Okay, but let me get to your comment, fam. Said, family, a lot of you had the same feeling about Debo last season. Kid did not have horrible season. He did not take a step back. Taylor was a ray of sunshine. No doubt we have 3-star QB. Man, with the starting QB, I definitely hope we had that. I mean, I'm not going. I'm gonna call it a slump because it was worse than his rookie season. It was worse than his rookie season. So that's why I say that his sophomore season was worse than his rookie season. So I say that was a slump from his rookie season. But he was getting beat a little bit more than he was in his rookie year. But I'm not gonna. If Alontae Taylor wasn't here, of course we will be saying Adebo is that guy. But when you got a guy that stepped in that was performing very well, I mean, to me, you got to make it a competition now because both of them young. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think you just set a guy that came in that was hot. Now, the same thing could happen to Alontae. He could come in and, have a little slump, little hiccup. I don't know, but I think you still make that a competition. I don't think Adebo should go into camp. And I'm pretty sure he'll go in starting with the ones and stuff. He'll get his due diligence as being that number 2 going in, but I still think they're going to keep it as a competition. But far as him, like, as a fall off and stuff, it's way too early, to say he's falling off. But as far as a little slump, yeah, he didn't play as well as he did his rookie season. And then maybe could have been, with injury. You said just let me know, fam. Okay, fam, definitely will. Shout out to you, fam. Okay, so I brought up the John Gruden situation. Like I said, that's just how I seen it. I seen it as I really don't understand why he was brought in to help install the offense. That's just how it was put out. Install the offense. To me, that has everything to either do with Pete not installing it to him himself good enough, and Derek just needed help. Maybe he, kind of not picking up on terminology stuff. But I think every team have their own terminology of things. I mean, because it's not too much unfamiliar things. Well, offense and defense, it's just the terminology is different. So I don't know. I don't know what to really take away from that. But what I will say is, if it's because Pete isn't, breaking it down to him good enough, something, then that's a bad thing. Which leads into the next question that everyone is kind of concerned with or questioning is, will the Saints offer John Gruden a consultant type of job, or will he become, coach on the coaching staff? I doubt that. I fully believe he was brought in to do what they say he was doing, was helping install the offense. But I'm going to just take it as he was just helping put touches on what, some things different that they was doing with the offense, with this West Coast staff. Because if I take it the other route, if I conclude that it was because the lack of what Pete was bringing to him, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing for Derek Carr, and it's definitely not a good thing for this offense. But like I said, I'm not going to harp on Pete Carmichael that much. No, I'm not going to do that. He got a solid quarterback. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt this season. But with a more solid quarterback, if he's unable to have the offense moving this year, then my conclusion is made on Pete Carmichael. Because I'm not going to thrash him as much as others may do. I mean, we do know the QB situation. I mean, that does have to come in consideration. And if Jameis was out there and he would have had his full play and it was similar, then I could understand. But which he gets a lot of the blame, I'm not going to conclude that he's not a good coordinator. I'm gonna let him spread his wing now. Him being the shadow man under Sean, I mean, that was really Sean's offense. He was leading the way and stuff. Even though we know we had spurts of Pete, well, he had his time to call plays that was successful. I mean, look at he had a solid QB that was able to do things like that and things that was already installed. But now that Pete has the full control of the offense, we're gonna see. It definitely didn't look good last year. But we do also know that Andy Dalton was out there. But we're gonna see, man. Like I said, I'm gonna just conclude that they were just trying to throw some nits and twitches, some things that Derek Carr liked it in Oakland in this offense. That's why John Gruden was out there. Excuse me. That's what I'm gonna take away from it. As far as the Derek Carr presser that he had this week, I mean, obviously the man is enjoying the city of New Orleans. You know, he was bringing up some scenarios and stuff. You know, where the fans was. I think a few fans were bringing them some things and or that such. So it's good that he's enjoying the city of New Orleans, and hopefully he gets to enjoy the winning side of things, where he's out there on Bourbon and out there in the quarter and stuff, and get to experience that type of vibe. That's what we hope that he gets to experience. But yes, it's a good thing that he loves the city. You know, he's here to win. And honestly, I want to see this guy retire New Orleans Saints while playing at a high level. Number one, continue playing, play at a high level and retire New Orleans Saints. That's how I feel about that. If we have a situation where we got a QB that's up and coming and a team interested, we can get something, some big situation like that around the league. I mean, look at the 49ers. They had two QBs, Jimmy and Lance. Lance been hurt. They gonna roll with Lance because he was their number one pick, a couple years back. And then you got a guy like Brock Purdy that was on the up and coming. So now you got some things to play with. Just saying, Brock Purdy, if he, continues to play like he's been playing, which he won't get that chance this season. But the team may try to trade for him. The team can get something in return. So that's the stuff you gotta look at. Randy Major said Mike Florio predicted a blockbuster trade, sending Devontae Adams to the Saints. I mean, if that happens, that's gonna be a lot of cap we taking on. It's gonna be a lot of cap we taking on. So, did he include the pieces that was involved in the trade? Because if we bring a guy with that much cap to the Saints, we're gonna have to send somebody out. I mean, if you think the contract of, like I mentioned earlier in the show, like an Andrews Pete, a guy like that definitely can be a contract that will be put on the books. Man, I really don't know who else at the moment. But we got to look at things like this coming up. Let's look at Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan, he's been a Saint lifer his whole career. I'm pretty sure the front office want to make sure he ends as a New Orleans Saint. Guy's been out of trouble. I mean, you got to look at stuff like that that's coming up. If we take a big contract like that under our books, will that give the Saints the opportunity to give a Cam Jordan? I'm pretty sure Cam ain't going to try to break the bank or anything like that. But at some point, the cap stuff is going to take a toll on the team. You can keep, maneuvering. Like Minky's been doing an exceptional job. But in my opinion, it's ego-free right now with what we have. And I forgot to bring up the Hunter Renfrow thing, but we'll get into him. I think, right now, I think the situation is good. At this point right now, no team wants to trade for Michael Thomas because they don't know what they're going to get. It don't matter if the deal is the 1 year, 12, 13 million that he got this year. It doesn't matter. They don't want to take on no type of cap hit with Michael Thomas till they see what they until they see what he does this year as far as being able to stay healthy and, of course, making an impact. But then you got to think about that. If Mike goes off this year, have a 100 reception season, getting back to the old, now we got to go back to the table with him. So if you bring in like a Davante Adams, basically you saying, not you personally, I'm talking about basically Mike Florio, he's saying that after this season, if Mike has a great season, Mike is out the door. Because they're not going to be able to maintain Davante, Mike, and then you got Olave. I think that's too much. DeAndre Hopkins, he's still playing at a high level. Now, if it was some decline in Davante Adams, then I could see that. But I doubt that's going to take place. I honestly don't want it to take place. I honestly don't. Bro City said, I'd rather see Winfrey than Adams. It's more cost effective and need to put more emphasis on the run game. Yeah, fam, if it's between those two, I'd rather see Hunter Winfrey. Which brings me to Hunter Winfrey. Hunter Winfrey, he was definitely the second best receiver out there behind Davante Adams. Do I think they should make the trade? The trade has to make sense. I'm not, like I said, I'm not jumping around for it because I think I don't want to say we got enough at receiver because it's a lot of question marks. It's a lot of question marks at receiver. But what we do know we have for certain, we got Chris Olave. He had awesome rookie year. Does that continue? That's a question mark. Does Mike come back healthy? That's a question mark. So we really got, honestly, one guy that we know for certain we're going to get, some production from. Yeah. I don't know, fam. I mean, if it makes sense, cap-wise, I'll go for it. But it gotta make sense. We can't be taking on no huge contract. Some of that I seen they was talking about post June 1st cut. So if it come down to something like that, I can see them doing that. And I won't be upset. But my thing is, man, from what I seen with Mike in that Atlanta game, when he ready to go, he got it. That AJ Terrell situation, you seen when going into last season, they were talking about somebody, I think it was NFL.com, had AJ Terrell as a top 5 corner. Of course, who that nation, we pissed off about it because we knew what he was going up against week 1. And obviously, he got exposed week 1. He got exposed by Mike week 1. So Mike showed us that even with quote-unquote the league's so-called top corners in the game, he still can do work to him. So I just want to take one more chance on Mike. I mean, and that's what it is in general. It's one more chance. It's a 1-year deal. So it's either he's gonna go out there, stay healthy, get production. If he's healthy, he's gonna get production. Or he's gonna be a free agent. And we most likely won't be bringing him back. If he get hurt again, that's gonna be it for us. It needs to be it for us. I mean, Israel just got the best of them. If it is like that, nothing against them or nothing like that. But let's get to let's see, Hunter Winfrey. Yeah, basically cool. It just is what it is with him. I don't want to spend unnecessary money for him. I like what we got, as far as our receivers go. Because you also got to think, I mean, yeah, we can get all these receivers, but what about AK? What about AK in the backfield? He's going to want his reception. And then we doing this, the offense we've been running, looking like it's going to be some twitch and niches in it. AK, he going to need his receptions out the backfield. So it ain't like we got an average running back in the backfield. Damn, we're trying to put all these receivers. I'm talking about adding guys of that caliber to the offense. We got to think about AK in the backfield. So, and that pretty much. No. I mean, of course, Olave stood out. As far as the non-rookies in the OTAs, Chris Olave stood out. A lot of reporters said that he looked more bulkier. He still got his speed, so that's good. You know, he focused on, getting stronger, more bulkier, so he can start getting off of these receivers. And if he can do that, his game definitely about to go to another level. Another situation is Foster Mooney. He was 100% go out there. On last show, as I explained to you guys, this guy had cancer. He had cancer. He was aware that he had cancer, 2 months ago? That was back in March, right before free agency started, or right when it started. And he was on the visit with us. So 8 weeks later, he's out and running 100%. So that's a blessing, man. I know he's happy. Just prayers and thoughts and prayers out to him that he's able to continue his football career. And it's looking very likely that will be, because he's out. I mean, helmet on, everything, running around. And that was just a 2-month situation. So shout out to him, man. Good thing. Other than that, that's pretty much it for the first week of OTAs. I don't want to start talking about competitions and who were made the. I don't want to get too much into that until it start getting closer to mini camp and training camp. And then we also got to think about injuries. I know we don't like discussing that or anything, but that's a part of the game. So hopefully we can maintain our health. As far as the health last season, we really didn't do that good at maintaining guys health-wise. So hopefully this season, especially the offensive line, we would definitely beat up on the offensive line last season. So hopefully good things come from the offensive line with health, the team health in general, and we see what goes into next week worth of camps. I mean, we see what the OTAs look like next week. But like I said, that'll wrap up today's show. Once again, hope you guys enjoy Memorial Day weekend. I do want to announce something that I'm going to start doing. The reason I didn't start it, I was going to do it before the show today, but I'm going to come out with a series called CB's Chill Time. And what that is you guys know we all got jobs and families and stuff. It's just time that I take away from life and put it towards either the podcast or I'm gonna play Madden. I mean, even like right now, my time is put in the podcast right now, but it's just called CB's Chill Time, and it's gonna be a lot of Madden play on there. As you guys know, the ones that know I love to play Madden. So just gonna chill, play Madden, and talk to you guys. Have a little, wine, a little drink here and there. Just have a good time, talk to you guys. We can talk about anything you guys want to. I'm going to be playing random teams. And you guys know once the preseason and stuff wraps up, you guys know how I'm going to do with Madden. But that's going to be the plan with that. Like I said, it was supposed to start today, but I forgot my PS5 camera at my other spot. So I'm going to have to postpone that. I'm going to do it sometime this week. But other than that, that's going to start, so you guys be on the lookout for that. And that wraps today's show up. Shout out to SaintsUptown. Uptown wasn't able to get on today, but shout out to him, man. Shout out to the podcast. And that about wraps the show up. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow the page. It's the WDN Chatline podcast. And your boy is out. Who that?